Welcome guys to my Wild Rift Kha'Zix guide. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Tinjus. I've been playing Kha'Zix on League PC for about 8 years now, and I picked Challenger with him. So today we're going to be covering the Wild Rift version of Kha'Zix and just go over everything you kind of need to know. So we're going to cover the runes, his abilities, item builds, evolutions, all that good stuff, and we'll be finishing off with a gameplay demonstration to kind of just put it all together. So without further ado, let's jump. Or I guess I should say, let's leap right into it. No? Okay. First off, we're going to touch on his abilities and his evolutions first. So to start with, Kha'Zix's passive is called Unseen Threat. Whenever he hits an enemy champion, he will deal bonus magic damage and slow them. This only applies once, and afterwards it needs to be regained by either going invisible with your ultimate or walking into the Fog of War. You'll notice that Kha'Zix has a glow on his claws whenever he has Unseen Threat active, and this is a really important tool for maximizing your damage in fights. His second passive, which is actually on his first ability, is his isolation mechanic. So whenever an enemy is alone or a set distance away from their allies, they become isolated, and Kha'Zix will be able to deal much more damage to them with his first ability if they are isolated. If enemies are grouped together, they will not be isolated, and Kha'Zix will deal a lot less damage to them. This is why Kha'Zix excels as an assassin champ, picking off enemies who are isolated and alone by themselves. Yes. His first ability is Taste Their Fear, so Kha'Zix simply slashes an enemy and deals damage to them, and this damage is increased significantly if the enemy is isolated. His evolved version increases the range of this ability, increases his auto attack range, and reduces the cooldown of this ability when used against isolated enemies. This is his most important damaging ability, so you're going to be using this a lot when you play Kha'Zix. You're going to want to evolve this first for the most part so that you can clear jungle camps really fast and increase your damage potential. It's a really good evolution for solo carrying. His second ability is Void Spike, so Kha'Zix shoots a Void Spike in a straight line which explodes on the first enemy hit and deals damage. Kha'Zix can heal using this ability if he is close to the explosion of the spike, and the evolved version allows Kha'Zix to shoot 3 spikes in a cone, which slows enemies considerably. The evolved version also adds an isolation mechanic, which slows enemies even more if they are isolated. You generally evolve this ability if you want to help out your team and play more supportive, but for the most part the other evolutions are stronger for solo carrying. Kha'Zix's third ability is Leap, so Kha'Zix just jumps in a direction and deals a little bit of area of effect damage upon landing. Pretty straightforward. His evolved version of Leap increases the leap range, and also resets leap upon taking down an enemy, so you can jump in, jump out, and do all sorts of awesome stuff with this. You might know that Kha'Zix can do something cool called the double jump, which is basically jumping twice, using a reset on an enemy to double the distance of your gap closer. It's pretty hard to pull off, but it can be really fun. Anyway, this is Kha'Zix's most important tool when going in on enemies. You generally want to evolve this ability second or third, since it's going to help you a lot with getting into fights, killing someone, and then getting out after. His ultimate is called Void Assault. You might have noticed that I've been talking about evolutions on Kha'Z's abilities, so every time you level up your ultimate you get an evolution point, which you can spend to evolve your abilities, meaning you really want to put points into this ability as much as you can. This active allows Kha'Zix to become invisible for a short time, gaining move speed while doing so and refreshing his passive. It can be cast twice, whilst the evolved version increases the casts to 3, and increases the duration of the invisibility. This ability is what separates good Kha'Zix players from bad ones. It's really important to know how to use this ability in a fight to help your Kha'Zix survive through repositioning. It's common for people to evolve this first, but you can honestly just evolve it at any time. It's insanely good for ganking, skirmishing, teamfighting, and basically everything. As far as what you should evolve in your games, it's really up to you. That's the most amazing thing about Kha'Zix. He can use different evolutions to change the way he plays the game. So generally, you're going to want to evolve your 1 or 4 first, followed by 3 or 2 second, and last you just evolve whatever you need. My personal favorite evolution order is 1, 3, 4, so Taste Their Fear, Leap, and then Void Assault, or the other way around, 4, 3, 1. Okay, let's talk about his general setup. So Kha'Zix doesn't have too many options in terms of builds, so it's really easy to pick him up. For runes, you have 2 choices of keystones. You can run Electrocute or Conqueror. Electrocute is your most consistent rune for reliable damage and lets you assassinate enemies pretty easily with that extra burst. It's his most common, most reliable rune, and you can't really go wrong with it. You can also run Conqueror instead if you prefer more of a beefier fighter type Kha'Zix and enjoy fighting extended fights with him rather than assassinating. For the Domination rune, there are a few choices, but I highly recommend Hunter Vampirism. This will enhance your snowball potential greatly since you get physical vamp and AD off of killing enemies. This is amazing for Kha'Zix. He uses physical vamp like crazy, and he will heal a generous amount off of your abilities, which is very useful for staying alive on the map. You can also run Weakness, which will enhance your damage once you slow an enemy with your Unseen Threat. That can also work, but I honestly found it a little hard to notice the damage difference and a little inconsistent. For your Resolve rune, you're going to want to run Hunter Titan. All the other runes just kind of suck on him, so being able to get that tenacity and a bit of extra health on champion takedowns can help you out against some enemies, in particular the ones who have crowd control abilities. So this is basically the only rune you want to go in this slot. For the Inspiration rune, I recommend one of the top 3 runes, so either Pathfinder, which helps you move around the map, Mastermind, which is amazing if you're playing for objectives, you're going to get a bunch of golden experience from that rune, or you can run Hunter Genius, which gives you a bit more cooldown reduction on your abilities when you get takedowns. Me personally, I like to run all of the Hunter runes. They're just the best way to snowball in my opinion, and I feel really powerful when running all of them and getting kills, but you can run the other runes like I mentioned and you'll do pretty well as well. For items, it's pretty straightforward. For a basic standard Assassin Kha'Zix build, you're going to want to rush Duskblade into Youmuu's for that juicy assassin power. You then want to go into Gluttonous Greave Boots with Protobelt. You can also go Zhonya's, but in my opinion Protobelt is just way too good. Followed by Last Whisper into Mortal Reminder. This item is extremely important for countering enemies that build armor. You practically need this item every single game you play. You can then go into a Cleaver to help you deal with tankier enemies more effectively and round out your stats. And you finish off your build with either an Umbral Glaive for more assassination power, Death Stance to counter AD enemies, or Maw of Malmortius to counter AP enemies. Keep in mind, you can buy the Black Cleaver earlier on if you want to play more of a fighter style Kha'Zix earlier on into the game and deal with similar bruiser type enemies. Other than that, that's basically all you really need. There aren't many other good items on Kha'Zix in Wild Rift. Alternatively, you can run a Bruiser build with Conqueror, which is honestly a lot more consistent in my opinion than Assassin Kha'Zix. This build is much more forgiving and lets you deal with any enemy in the game, including bruisers and fighters. You're going to want to rush Cleaver into Death Stance, then build into Styrax Gauge while picking up your defensive plated Steel Cap boots with Gargoyle Enchant. Your last 2 items can be anything really. You can go Maw to deal with AP, Guardian Angel to help you survive fights, or even an armor penetration item for more damage. So there's a few combos you're going to want to know when playing Kha'Zix. The first one is what we call a Q mid-air, so you're basically casting your first ability while you're in the air. This is so you don't waste time in your combo and are able to cast your passive auto attack and Void Spike while on the ground. This is extremely important to help the flow of Kha'Zix's combos, and you need to get used to this. To do this, you simply jump, and then you instantly cast your first ability. This will make it cast while you are jumping in the air. Next is just a standard assassination combo. It's going to include the Q mid-air, so it's going to be 3, 1, auto, and then 2, followed by Void Assault casts to refresh your passive. You're going to be using this every time you leap to engage, so get used to it. However, sometimes you don't and shouldn't use your leap, so in that case you just walk up to the enemy and do auto 1, 2, followed by Void Assault casts while holding your leap. Okay, that's basically it. We're going to jump into a game now and put all our knowledge to good use. So here we are in game. Now keep in mind, I'm not versing the greatest of players in Wild Rift, so the purpose of this gameplay is only to just kind of guide you through what to do as Kha'Zix during a game. And so yeah, we're going to start at our blue buff here. I actually like starting blue because I feel like Kha'Zix kind of suffers from mana problems a little bit in the early game without it. So, but still, it's just a very good path to full clear on him, which is what we're going to be doing. Obviously, we start our first ability, which takes their fear, to cleave down the jungle camps in the early game. Definitely don't start anything else. You don't need to. You need to start Q first, and then we're just going to head over to Gromp, take that, and then head over to Wolves now. The thing is, a lot of people say to auto the small ones first and kill the small monsters first before you move on to the big one as Kha'Zix, but that's not the case. Your autos actually do AoE, area of effect damage against the small monsters if you position it right. So you should always just attack the big one and try hit the others with your auto attack as well. So yeah, don't bother killing the small ones first. Just do what I'm doing here. See what I'm doing? I've like moved the small raptors in front of me so that my auto attack hits all of them, and then I can finish them off with a W, and then move on to my red buff afterwards here. Bam, we take that. Okay, so now we have an option of getting our smite. We're gonna max our first ability first. We absolutely must do that. It's just like so much damage, it's crazy. And we do take the blue smite here. We're going an assassin build, so I do like blue smite with the assassin build. If I was going like the conqueror build, like a bruiser conqueror build, I would take red smite instead because it just suits the playstyle more. But the blue smite's gonna help me a lot in this. I actually managed to go for a pretty clean full clear. I know a lot of people don't like full clearing in Margrove, but this is just to show you how to clear each of the camps. Remember just to focus on the big one first for the most part. Don't get baited into focusing on the smalls. And now we hit level 5, so I'm just going to recall here right now. And I'm going to buy my serrated dirk. And that's going to go into my Duskblade. And then we're going to evolve our Q first, which is going to let us go for, you know, just faster clear speed, more dueling potential. It's just crazy, man. Like the amount of value you get out of Q. Sorry, I call it Q evolve, but like it's not Q in Wild Rift. Sorry, we're evolving our first ability, which is Taste of Fear. Yeah, super valuable. And so I see a gank here. I'm going to go for the Darius. Look what I do here. I'm just gonna EQ auto attack W. Remember I showed you the combos. That's exactly what we're doing there. EQ. Sorry, I did it again. Okay. What was it? 3, 1, auto, 2, yeah. For those of you who don't play League PC, you might get a little confused when I say like EQ auto attack and stuff like that. That's just the name of the keys that I'll bind it to the abilities, so yeah. I'm gonna kill that Darius with my just standard assassin combo, and then I'm going to go back into my jungle, take my blue buff, and then I'm like, oh okay, maybe I can do something mid lane. So I'm going to try and look for a gank here in the mid lane. Orianna's pushing out way too far without any vision, so I'm going to lock onto her and just try and kill her here. So we're going to auto QW, auto 1, 2, and then we're going to Void Assault, and we're just going to cleave her down with Taste of Fear. And we're going to Void Assault closer to the Yi, who somehow is just, I don't really know what he's doing. Guys, don't judge the players in this game, I'm sorry. I had like the greatest game ever, but I stopped recording halfway through, so now I'm sad and I have to use this game instead. Trust me, I've played so many games of Classics, and this is like the best one I can get. So I killed the Yi, right? I'm going to invade him and take his red because it's up. You know, why not? Got to take that. And I see the Krug's up, but I'm going to skip that because the Darius is overextended and he's pretty low on health. So I'm going to try and jump on this guy here. So we're going to lock onto him, and I shouldn't actually jump here. I do my standard combo against him and end up killing him, but I shouldn't actually jump on him there because if he manages to flash or something, I can't really catch up to him. And so, yeah, it's just best to hold your leap when you don't need to, you know, jump. That's kind of the best way to use your leap, just hold it, as I said before. So, excuse me, after that we're going to go back into the jungle, take the wolves, and we're just going to recall here because we have 3,000 gold. And we're going to go for the Duskblade first, obviously. Bam, there we go. There's the Duskblade. We'll pick up the boots as well, and then we pick up another serrated dirk. And we're going to build into our Youmuu's Ghostblade right afterwards. There we go, there's the items for those who are wondering. Gonna head up into our red buff here. And then I think I just go and do other stuff. I just try and look for kills and stuff here, I believe. Although I am 1 level away from my wings. So I should probably take a jungle camp here. That's my mistake. That's my bad. So generally, you get your evolutions at 5, 9, and 13. So once you're close to level 9, you definitely want to just farm a camp. And I'm just wondering what's going on here. Because, I don't know, man. Everyone's just dying left and right, so I'm just tabbing out, looking at the scoreboard. But I decided to do the dragon here. And you can see how Kha'Zix does dragons and solo objectives really, really quickly. Take a look at that. So much damage on that dragon, and we take that by ourselves solo, and we hit level 9, and we're going to get our second evolution, which is evolved leap. Bam, that's gonna excuse me, I have a cough right now, I'm so sorry. But yeah, the leap is gonna enable us to just jump all over the enemy team. And so I see the Orianna here, I'm going to avoid assault forward, going to just do a standard combo on her, auto 1-2, yeah, and then void assault afterwards, and I'm just going to pick her up very easily. See the crab here, going to take that, you know, nothing wrong with that. And yeah, so basically the one thing that you should be doing as Kha'Zix is just kind of playing selfish. Take everything, take kills, take minions, you know, take all your jungle camps, take all the gold and experience you possibly can, because that's the way you kind of snowball the game and be as threatening as possible. So I take the Rift Herald here really quickly with Evolved Taste of Fear by myself, and I find the Darius here, and I'm going to try fight him here and cleave him down with my my first ability, but he just absolutely destroys me. I didn't realize he was that strong, that's my bad. Generally you don't really want to fight one-on-one with bruiser type champions without your ultimate. I think if I had my ultimate up there, I would have killed him. But yeah, I didn't have it up there, so that was just a little greedy of me. My bad. Plus Red Smite would have helped there. Generally the bruiser build is better against bruisers. It's really hard to fight bruiser type champs as Kha'Zix when you're playing assassin. That's just something I found in Wild Rift. Anyway, I'm going to return up here, start taking my camps again. And that's basically it. Like, you always want to make sure you're taking your camps, but obviously don't miss out on opportunities that you can find on the map. So here's another opportunity I find on the Darius. That Camille's going to be fighting him, sorry. I'm going to jump on the Darius. Unfortunately, the Darius picks up the Camille, and the Darius just chunks me down with 2 auto attacks, which is crazy. And then I'm forced to use my Void Assault there and just narrowly survive and pick up the kill. And I have the Rift Herald, right? So I'm going to drop it here. And this is really important, right? What else can I... There's like 3 dead right now. What can I be doing in this scenario to increase my lead? And that's basically just split pushing and taking this tower. No one's up here to defend it. So this is basically free gold for me and free experience. All for me. All for me. Just for me. Amazing. You want to keep out... You want to keep an eye out for these kind of opportunities. That's just basically it. So I'm going to wait here because that's the jungler right there. That's the Olaf. It looks like he's going to come and do his raptors, but doesn't look like that's the case, which is a bit unfortunate. I was just waiting here for nothing. And so I'm going to look mid now. I'm just kind of standing around here waiting for a pick. This is kind of what you want to do once you're strong and you know you can get kills. It's generally the best way to kind of push your lead, and then afterwards you go for objectives. So Ahri's going to roam down here. I'm going to find a decent pick on the Ahri there, and then I'm just going to burst down the Orianna simultaneously while I'm killing the Ahri, and then I get a reset and jump out. So that's kind of nice. And then yeah, it's basically it. That's how you play Kha'Zix, guys. He's not hard. He's not that hard. Well, not in this version anyway. Gonna return to my jungle, take my camps once again. You can notice I have like almost 4,000 gold. Like, I'm just hoarding gold. Ahri's legendary, she's crazy. And yeah, just basically like take all your camps as much as you can so that you can maximize your gold income and just get your items so that you can carry. It's just basically it. I see the Yi here. What's up, Yi? We're just gonna standard combo him. Bam, there we go. Smite him to get the move speed, and then finish him off with one last Taste of Fear. And we're going to clear this wave, and then Dragon's up, so we'll probably do that. Yeah, again, like, take a look at this damage on the Dragon. It's gonna be crazy. That's the one like amazing thing about Evolved Taste of Fear. It's that you can just kind of cleave down dragons like this, which is really crazy. It's super nice. And so I'm gonna look mid here to find a pick on the Orianna. Bam! 3-1-2 auto. That's basically just a one-shot right there. I see the Darius here, so I'm gonna jump on him. My whole team's with me here, so he just gets absolutely demolished. Then I'm gonna jump on the Yi. He's isolated. Take a look at how good Kha'Zix is once enemies are actually alone by themselves and isolated. See, he doesn't really do that much damage when the enemy isn't isolated. So when they are, those are the kind of moments you want to go for, right? Those are the situations where Kha'Zix is really good, and you should be playing around those scenarios. So I picked up my Mortal Reminder. As I said, that's a really important item to counter armor. And then I picked up my Proto Belt boots with Gladness Greaves, and then I'm just going to start building into my Black Cleaver. Basically just as much armor pen as you can. That's the way to go with Assassin Kha'Zix. I could go for a third armor penetration item like Umbral Glaive, I guess, but I think it's maybe a little overkill. I don't know actually. Maybe I should try it more. I personally haven't used Umbral Glaive too often, but yeah, I do hit 13 off that wave, so I'm gonna evolve my last evolution, which is gonna be my ultimate here, and I'm just gonna go crazy with the stealth. I'm gonna find the Yi. I'm gonna jump, auto, and then Taste of Fear. Bam, I'm gonna stealth. I'm gonna find the Darius here. I actually get caught. I drop pretty low. Stealth again, auto the Darius, pick him up. I'm gonna go back in, full combo the Orianna, one-shot her, and then watch this. Woo! Here we go with the double jumps. And we pick up a quadra kill for ourselves. So, that was actually my first double jump in Wild Rift, for you PC players who know what a double jump is. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Just jumping twice with style. It's pretty satisfying, and it's a little hard to pull off in Wild Rift, I'll admit. But yeah, I'm getting used to it. I get really greedy and jump on the Ahri under the tower here, and so I just have to Void Assault out straight away. But Ahri gets a little too deep. She charms me, but it's not enough. She doesn't have enough damage. And so I'm going to pick her off very easy in isolation. I'm going to stealth back in, auto, Taste the Fear, the Yi, and then jump back out. And then he starts meditating on the spot, so I'm like, maybe I can go for something here. But the Camille's going to come along here. She's going to use her ulti here. And then I'm just going to jump on the Yi. And this is just Kha'Zix in a nutshell, guys. Just jumping everywhere. That's basically it. That's kind of what you want to go for. You want to go for like clean up reset plays with your leap resets. That's like the most fun way to play Kha'Zix in my opinion. Obviously you don't have to evolve your leap, but I think I accidentally used my ulti here, by the way. And I think we're going into the Baron here. Yes we are. So when you have a huge lead and your enemies are dead, you can afford to take this Baron right here, which is going to just kind of make it really easy for you to end the game, which will empower your minions and empower your team. So you want to take this Baron as much as you can, but it's pretty risky to go for unless you have your enemies dead. So make sure you get like a pick first before you try the Baron, but the Baron can be extremely useful for just closing out the game. And you know, Kha'Zix is really good at taking it, obviously, because you know it's isolated. So yeah, now we're just gonna close out the game. Nothing special here. I find the Darius here, just gonna jump straight on him. I get chunked down with his ultimate. That kind of hurt. Don't ask me why Ahri has Guardian Angel, please. I'm sorry. I know they're not the most amazing players, but I hope this just taught you how to kind of play Kha'Zix in the Wild Rift. Just, you know, guidelines on what to do. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. That's gonna be it. That's the Wild Rift gameplay done. I'll probably have a few more gameplays out on Wild Rift if you dig that. So yeah, just let me know if you want more gameplays on Kha'Zix and Wild Rift, and I'll get them out. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this guide. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and go try out Kha'Zix and Wild Rift if you haven't. He's a lot of fun, trust me. And with that being said, I guess I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.